It's National Signing Day, and this has become kind of an extra holiday for football coaches across the country, including head coach Bob Nielson down there at the University of South Dakota, and he joins us now courtside. And Bob, this is always an exciting time for you guys, and it's when you get to realize the fruits of all that labor, right? It's when you're looking forward to these signatures. You guys had a bunch of them come in today. What do you have to say, at least your early impressions about this recruiting class for 2023?
Yeah, really excited. It's a good group of young men that will sign on today, a group that's going to add to our program in a lot of different ways. You know, this early signing date has really been a good thing from a recruiting standpoint because not that you complete your entire class, but it always gives you a great start, and that's what we feel we've gotten.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about some of the attributes you guys were looking for? Obviously, not the season you had hoped to have this year, and you're always hoping to fill some gaps and add some depth through this first recruiting class. What were you able to find specifically in terms of skills with this group?
Yeah, well, every class is a little bit different. You know, you always are looking for outstanding young men at every position, but at the same time, every class has a little bit more of specific needs. Last year, we took a few more linemen. This year, you're going to see as you look through and as we finalize everything, it's going to be a higher number of skill position players to try to balance out the roster and look at who's leaving in the next year or two as you build your depth and for the overall program.
Unfortunately for you, it doesn't mean you're all done, and you get to start focusing on February and filling in whatever gaps you feel like are still there. So what's the process like for you guys over the next several weeks as you try to put an official end to this recruiting class here mid-February, early February?
Yeah, the recruiting calendars at the Division I level has really changed. You know, we're now in a dead period through the first part of the month of January, and so we'll have opportunities later in January to bring some more young men and their families to campus for visits that will all be part of that second signing period in February. And knowing what we've been able to accomplish through this first signing period really kind of sets your priorities for the second half of the recruiting period.
Transfer portal, obviously such a big part of your game and all of college athletics at this point. And I know you guys have kicked the tires on a lot of guys, much like most programs have, but that's a different setup when you start to talk about the transfers and how they may help you with this 2023 class and how they might add to it at some point. But can you talk about the timetable and how things vary a little bit when it comes to the transfers? Just because I know people are excited to hear those things, and they're not included on these things a lot of times.
Right, transfer recruiting is a little bit different. There's no signing of transfer prospects. The process by which you release those guys really is boiled down to when they start school. And transfer recruiting has got to be a part of what you do now. We still want to base our program on recruiting freshmen and developing them over their 4 or 5 year careers. At the same time, that opportunity to bring in the right experienced guy here and there is to bolster your roster is something that we're going to do. And so we'll have a couple of guys that will join us here at midterm and a couple more that will join us for the summer as a part of our overall recruiting efforts.
Last one for you, Bob. I know this. This isn't the only piece of business involving the football program right now. You've been on the search for a new offensive coordinator, and I know people are dying to get an update on that and see what's going on. So, where do things stand right now, and what's the timetable for a decision?
Yeah, talking to a lot of outstanding coaches. It's a very important position for our program. Our goal all along is to have that position filled here before we start the second semester, and hope to have that done here in a relatively short time frame.